Hello, I'm Dr. Carl, and welcome to my new YouTube channel called Lagomism. A little bit about who I am. I was born in the United States to a mother from the United States and a father from Sweden, and I'm now married to a woman from the Republic of Georgia. As a result of this, I have citizenship in all three countries and, by extension, the European Union. I currently live in the Republic of Georgia, where I teach at two different universities. My favorite hobbies include studying languages, as I've studied over a dozen, and traveling the world, as I've been to nearly 100 countries on 6 continents, including all the countries of Europe. Why I decided to create this new political social movement was because I've always been right-wing my whole life, but for a few specific reasons I've not been happy with the political development in Western countries over the past decade or so. So I've decided to create a new movement, and I've named it Lagomism. It comes from the Swedish word lagom, which means perfect balance. It's been called the Goldilocks word. For example, is it too hot? Is it too cold? Är det för varmt? Är det för kallt? Nej, det är lagom. No, it's the perfect balance. And this word is fairly unique to Swedish. It has occurred to me that in life we need to seek the perfect balances. And I will write more about this, hopefully in a book and in articles, and also I hope to make future videos discussing the finer details of this. But for now, I'll just mention that life has many dichotomies. For example, I love to travel a lot, but every time I travel, I want to see the most that I can, but at the same time, I want to not go too fast or do too much to enjoy what I'm seeing. In short, it's quality versus quantity, and that's one of life's biggest dichotomies. Also, when it comes to buying a product, you want a product with good quality, but you want to pay as little as possible. So price versus quality is one of life's dichotomies. Like time and space is another one. So in life, we try to get the perfect balance, or lagom, between all of these different dichotomies. Now, how does this work politically? Well, this philosophy is based on a number of important points, and I'll mention them now in no particular order. First of all, it is right of center politically, so it strongly supports the concept of free market economics and the notion of the minimalist state. Also very important to this is the idea that there should always be, or at least most always be, a balanced budget. That countries have been running up budget deficits at ridiculous rates, and we've got to do something about that. It's also a deep concern about privacy protection. With modern technology, things like a cashless society, CCTV cameras everywhere, there's a real concern about loss of privacy, and I don't think people are nearly worried about that enough. Next is support for both national pride and strong support for the European Union. And again, here's a perfect example of getting that perfect balance. We need to balance national pride, which is important, but we also need to balance pan-European and pan-Western civilization pride. So for that, we need to support the European Union. And at the same time, we do need to have a bit of an international perspective as well. So we need to get the perfect balance between all those things. We need lagom. This supports the concept of gender equality, and as of now, through the men's rights movement. Reason being, at least in Western countries and in other parts of the world as well, the focus has been almost exclusively on women and women's rights, so much so that many people don't even realize there's a need for gender equality for men. And I will be making future videos discussing this issue. So support for gender equality through the men's rights movement, and also support for the specific intactivist element of the men's rights movement, because nobody's genitals, female or male, should ever be cut. There's also strong support for the concept of marriage and the nuclear family, as the family is the most basic unit of society. Without family, societies cannot function, and marriage is the glue that holds families together. There's strong support for the Christian faith and the basic elements of Western culture. After all, the Christian faith is the foundation of Western culture. And also, here's another place where we need to get the perfect balance. Religion is great, but at the same time it shouldn't be taken to an excess. Like I'm fond of saying, I am neither a Bible thumper nor an agnostic. When it comes to religion and secularization, I find logom the perfect balance. And one example of this is we should be open with sexuality. I am fond of calling myself a sex-positive Christian and a sex-positive conservative. Furthermore, there's support for freedom of speech, because without freedom of speech, a free society is simply not possible. Also, one thing that's interesting for me, being so into languages, is support for saving the world's smaller languages. For one thing, it breaks my heart, I lived in Scotland for 2 years, that Gaelic is not the dominant language of Scotland, or that Gaelic is not the dominant language of Ireland, or Welsh is not the dominant language of Wales. It warms my heart that here in the Republic of Georgia, the Georgian language was so well preserved, even though it's been extremely difficult for me to learn. And finally, and this is also very important, this is not least, is a strong rejection of political correctness and social justice. In future videos, I'll discuss what this means. But for now, realize we have not done nearly enough to oppose political correctness and social justice. So, like I said, this is designed to be a pan-European, pan-Western civilization, right-of-center political and social movement. I have a Facebook page for this called Lagomism. I urge all of you to please go to my page, click like. Please subscribe to this channel, and I will be uploading videos in the future discussing these various points, like support for the European Union, support for free market economics, support for the Christian faith, support for marriage, but I'll also be talking about my favorite hobbies, languages, and travel. So until then, I'm Dr. Carl. Enjoy.